Hi, here we are again for the Uramel Expression on www.funny.fm, and I and Paola are here.
Hello to everybody.
Hello, and with the bass player of Words Unspoken, and you're going to have how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me right here.
That's okay. You're in the hotel here in Mexico City. In fact, I wasn't even going to let you say hello, was I? But I was going to go straight into the album. You're going to have an album coming out, your debut album, which is coming out very, very soon.
Yeah, it's coming out on the 16th of December.
And you did say the name of the album. Go on, remind me, Paola. What did he say? It was Inside Emotions.
Inside Emotions. That's correct. Yeah.
And I have a copy of it, but I haven't heard it yet because I've literally just been given it fresh off the press today. And probably everyone in your band will hear this and go, "What?"
Why did he do that?
So I will get to hear it, but I've obviously heard the EP, which is very good. And obviously for me, Dreaming Rabbits is my favourite track to date. And one of the other ones, the French one, I forget the name of the title.
Mirrors and Masks.
Mirrors and Masks, which I really like as well. And so tell us a wee bit about it. You know, the album. I don't know what you can say.
Well, what I can say is there will be a lot of different styles in the album. We have a lot of Celtic influences as well as the usual symphonic stuff. We actually even have a kind of progressive song, very heavy, and it's really influenced on traditional Greek folk music, so that should be very interesting. And we try and explore a lot of human emotions, and not in the typical corny way, but trying to figure out what makes us human. It's a lot of things that we try to tackle in the album. We even ended with a 15-minute song, which I can't tell you what the title is, and it's called This Is Me. We are trying to make a statement about what we feel and what we think is important and what makes us who we are.
It's quite a philosophical song.
Yeah, a lot of philosophical stuff going on. A couple of social and political things going on as well. And emotional things, you know, we talk about love, we talk about hate, we talk about dreams and passion, desire. There is a lot of things that we talk about in this album. I think it's a very interesting mix of themes and styles.
Do you want to ask about the...
Yeah, I mean, the way that your band works is like you are all over the place. I mean, how do you manage, starting
Not quite
with...
literally.
Yeah, well, but all over the world. It's like, how manage to get the music out? How do you sit and compose? It's like you have phone calls, or what do you do?
Actually, we started out with half of the album without ever doing a Skype call. We only did Facebook messages, Facebook inbox. And the way we work is I'm the main composer of the band. So I write the music, I write the lyrics, I write the full orchestration, I make a demo, and I send the scores, the sheet music, and the demo to each of the band members. They listen to it, we talk about it a bit, and each of them records their own parts, putting a bit of their own taste into it. And when they send it back, we get the full mix of the entire band, and it comes out as something very interesting. And it's worked for us so far. We haven't had any problems. Of course, it takes a while, since we're all over the world. It does take a while to get things done. For example, Susana, she's 7 hours ahead. Juan Carlos in Costa Rica, he's 2 hours behind. So it does take a while to get everything done properly. But we do work on it very hard. And so far, everyone's very happy with the way we're doing stuff. Personally, I'm very happy, and I feel honored to be working with such talented musicians, such great people.
And if you have like deadlines to reach, for example, with the album, because obviously the album is now complete and will be out next month. No, this month now. Is it November now, isn't it?
Well, November, yeah.
Yeah,
next month.
We're talking December now.
Yeah, December. 16th.
I'm all over the place with the months at the moment because I arrived in October. But you have the deadlines, obviously, like any band. You must have some kind of deadline. And you said with the time difference, that must be quite a challenge if you do your part and you're trying to get the flute player in Slovakia to get her part done. Do you manage to get it all done in time?
Yes. As far as deadlines, they are very, very tough. obviously we take this with a lot of seriousness. So we do set realistic deadlines, and we have to work very hard. Maybe if we're talking about a specific song and, hey, I have this idea, what if we do this, what if we do that, we still meet our deadlines. We've never had a problem with the deadline so far.
Okay. Can you tell us where you are located, just to know?
Sure. Well, I myself, Diego Hiromaganen, composer and bassist, I am located in Mexico City. Juan Carlos Delgado, the guitarist, he's in Costa Rica. Our male singer, Alonso Soronoso, he's in Iowa, in the United States. Paul, the drummer, he's in Texas. Erica Bianca, the singer, she's in Portugal, in Lisbon, Portugal. And Susana Lorelai, the flute player, she is in Slovakia.
And you all speak English.
Yeah, we usually talk in English.
Does the Americans cope with English?
Am I allowed to say something on video about that? Am I?
When they're not drinking.
Well, when they're not drinking, we manage to communicate.
Please, we're only joking, America. Trust me.
Yeah.
We love you guys.
Yeah.
But
where do you do the mix of the city? Sorry.
Not a problem. Paul, actually, he is also a sound engineer, so he is mixing the album. Usually the band sends all of the audios to me first, so I put them together, I listen to them, and I've never ever had to tell them, hey, this is wrong, repeat it. Not at all. I just listen to what they did, and I get a clear idea of what their intentions were. So I forward those audios to Paul, and I tell him, hey, I think we should probably do this, do that, and he makes a mix, sends it back to us, and we all check it out. So that's pretty much how we work. He does everything in Texas.
That's cool.
And you say you're a guy in Texas. I mean, there could be a plan for you to come and meet up, maybe. Because you're not too far.
No.
Maybe you could do some work together. Or has there been any talk of that? Like maybe you guys will meet up together, especially if you're going to do a tour. That's the hardest part. Because now you're going to have an album, and if you want to get on a support act, are you going to maybe meet the drummer? And would you ever consider possibly bringing in session musicians if you had to? If you say toward the States?
As far as towards the States, it's a very realistic possibility that the whole band could go to the States. We all have our paperwork, we've all seen the budget, and it's realistic. I'm not sure if I would bring in session musicians. First of all, even though I'm the composer and, to put it in a way, the leader of the band, kind of like Steve Harris of Iron Maiden, for Iron Maiden, it's still a band. It's still all of us. And what makes Words Unspoken us is each of the individual band members. Even though I write the music, they still put a lot of their own soul into the songs. They still have a very deep understanding of it. So if we were to do a tour, which we want to do, promoters out there, if anyone is interested, please, we would do everything in our hands to make sure it's us six right there. It is possible, and we do want to do it, and we will do it. It's part of our goals after releasing the album.
But my thought is, like, if, say, for example, because obviously Paul, your drummer, who's in Texas, suddenly you got a call saying, hey, we could do 3 or 4 shows next month in San Antonio or Dallas or wherever it is. How would you manage that? Because the guys wouldn't be able to drop everything, would they? And just come over. Maybe the guy from Iowa would be able to come down, but say, how would you do with the rest of the guys? Could they just come at short notice if they got the call and said, hey, look, there's a slot for you in 4 weeks' time?
We've spoken about it. We've definitely spoken about having something as fast as like next month, 30 days. And we are all committed to this band, so it would be a possibility for us to jump on a plane and do it. Yeah.
So there'd be no sort of... Basically, there is no even thought of going, okay, you can't make it to the show, so we'll bring in... not saying you would bring in a session player for your flutist, but you would say, okay, we'll bring in a flute player who plays in Mexico, because the Slovakian can't make it. She would definitely go, okay, I'm coming.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah, without a doubt.
That's how committed you guys are.
Yeah, we're very committed to this band. All of us have been through a lot in our musical careers. I myself have been through a lot, and we all found solace, we all found peace, and we all found that dream that we thought was fading in each of us. We all found it in this band. And even though it is hard, because we're an international band, we're all completely committed to this project, definitely.
Okay. And how did you meet each other? How this band started?
Well, we met in a contest for a Nightwish single. Nightwish put out a contest to win some goodies. You had to do a cover of their single back then, Elan. So I had worked with Paul previously in other collabs, and I called him and I said, hey, what if we do this together? And since Paul has been doing collabs on YouTube for ages, he called in the other guys. We made the song, we had a good time, and we just felt really good with each other. One day I decided to hit them up and say, hey, if I could hypothetically make an entire symphonic metal album, would you guys be willing to record it with me? They said yes. We started working on it. We were very happy, and well, what if we just turned this into a full-on band? Sure, and here we are now.
And you have the logo, and you have the EP, and you have the disc from Spain, Portugal that you gave me today, and you're printing up things like merchandise and shirts and things like this.
Yes, we will. We're working on that, so everything is ready by the time the album is released.
So you really are going to go for it 110%, even though you're all so far away. Have you tallied up the mileage between you all?
We have. I can't remember the number right now. Erica, she's a very smart girl, so she did that. She tallied up time, she tallied up miles. She was like, oh my God, we're this far. But yeah, this is what we all want, honestly.
I think that's really cool. I mean, you know, it is common that bands have other members in different countries, but, you know, it's rare for all of you to be in separate countries, except for the two of them. There's two in the States, but then the United States is a continent in itself, isn't it? Yeah. So he's miles from the other guy in Iowa. So, you know, but
okay, let's learn a little bit about that. You are the main composer of this album. I mean, what did you inspire? What do you think when you are writing the songs?
Well, here's the thing. Even though it might feel natural at first, we don't think of the songs, and I personally don't think of the songs as, oh, it has to be metal, so it has to have distorted guitars, it has to have a riff and the solo in the... We don't think about that at all. The way I make music is I have to have a theme, something to write about. If I don't have anything to say, I can't make music. But in the moment that I have something important, something I feel that is worth saying, the music starts forming in my mind, and I start just writing down the music, writing down the orchestration as I go, everything as one whole entity. Then I write down the lyrics. But I always inspire myself on something that I feel is important saying. If I feel I'm sad as hell, I'm gonna write a song about it. If I'm really in love, I'm gonna write a song about it. If I'm very angry about a social situation happening in the north of my country, you can bet I'm gonna write about it.
Yes.
So yeah.
So the music comes before the lyrics.
Yeah.
How does that work if you're thinking of the song?
Well, whenever I have the theme, I don't know how. Naturally, the music starts forming in my head. I can hear it, and that's how I start writing it. And I have ideas to how the lyrics are going to go. I have some phrases and maybe a chorus, maybe a verse as I'm writing it. But until I'm done, I really sit down to start thinking about the lyrics, how to make them properly. Writing lyrics is really tough. You don't want to fall into just saying stuff without a point or just throwing in a lot of metaphors without it having a real meaning. So I do give the music and the lyrics the time that they deserve to make sure that I'm writing something that is coherent and writing something that the people deserve from us.
And have you got choirs in this album?
Have
you got any choirs in the album? Any choir background?
Oh, yes, we do.
And where have they come from?
That's actually all of us.
Oh, so you've basically come together. Oh, right, okay, cool. No, I just wondered because being symphonic, you're like, you know, that usually is associated with some choir. I didn't know whether you brought in a school or something from the city or...
We brought a couple of string musicians. We have also brass musicians, woodwind musicians. To form the orchestra, we recorded them a bunch of times, and most of the choir parts we did ourselves.
Okay.
And how much time did you get to release the album? Like writing and record all the lyrics and the songs?
Took about a year. It took about a year. We started on August of 2015, and I finished the last song on July of 2016. I finished writing it. So it took about a year, and from July to October, we just worked on the production. We just worked on the mixing, on making sure everything was up to standards and the way that we wanted it to be.
So, any of these songs from the previous EP on the album?
Yep, all of them.
All of them?
All of them remastered and changed a little. They have a couple of changes in there.
Ah, so it's worth getting the album to hear the changes if you've only got the EP. Not saying people won't buy the album, but they'll need to get the album to hear the difference of the, from the EP. And one thing I'd like to know is, are you going to release another video, like from the new album? Is there like
Yes, we will.
A taster? And can you say anything about that yet, being the promo for the album?
Well, we will be releasing a lyric video for one of the remastered versions of one of the songs from the EP. We will be releasing new videos.
Say yet which one it's going to be.
You'll just have to find out. I'll just say it's one of Andy's favorites.
Okay. But they'll have to wait until... But you'll put an announcement out on your wall when it's coming out, or on your website when it's going to be a month before it's released or something. It'll be released maybe, 3 weeks before the album, or...
Maybe 2 weeks before the album. And we also have a special goodie. Since we're a symphonic metal band, we all love classical music. So we also decided as a special goodie to put in a piece composed by Karl Orff, very famous, turned into symphonic metal for all of the fans to hear.
Okay, cool. Is there anything you want to say before we wrap this album up? This interview?
Yes, just tell us where we can find you.
Of course.
Band.
You come on the sofa.
The band.
You can find us in all of our houses. No, just kidding. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/wordsunspokenband, YouTube, youtube.com/wordsunspokenofficial, and on Twitter, /wordsunspoken06, and on Instagram, wordsunspokenband. And we also have a webpage, www.wordsunspokenband.com.
Okay.
Cool. So that's basically all I need to know.
Okay, just next is the video and the CD and
the album, hopefully a tour,
and so, which hopefully you'll get sorted out. Although, like you say, you're also committed that the logistics will be fairly easy, because to an extent, because all 6 of you are so committed, nothing's going to get in your way. Or as Starship once said, nothing's going to stop us now.
Hope not.
Yeah, so there you go. And everyone's looking, thinking, what is the name of that song? Yeah. Anyhow, so Diego, I'd like to say thank you for this interview. I'm really looking forward to it coming out. And obviously I have an advanced listening, so that'll be really cool. So, yeah, and feel free to promote, as you always do, on the pages. You're always welcome to let us all know what's going on.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for being so kind to the band, and to everyone on the fan page. Thank you so much for being so supporting. It means the world to us.
Cool. Okay. Right. Okay. Right. Cheers.
See you.
Cheers.
Thanks.